So given that you, the 5 states that we just talked about, just put this in your notes somewhere, study it, read it, be familiar to it, because on the final exam you're going to have some multiple choice questions over this with it. But we're at here right now with it. So if you look at the U state that I'm using right now with it, that's the state that you're actually going to use this particular current state currently. That's what U state is the current view when you run your web developer server. It's going to appear into your browser with it as well. So inside of your U state with it, we need to actually to define some constants right now with it. So we need to actually like I said, you always have to the way how code is written, you have to think the logic of the code with it. In an equal sign in programming, the right side equals the left side. So I'm going to write this from the right side to have it equal to the left side. Again, this is the U state we're importing in right now. So I'm going to use the equal sign, and if you can, this is how I want you to make sense. The U state, all right, this is the U state. I want to set this to false. It's like your remote control in your TV. It's always off, right? You never want to have it always turn on because your TV's going to turn on. You know with that as well. And you have to toggle it, meaning you have to flip it to have it on. Push a button. And it toggles the bit to flip to the other side to be on with it. So by default, it's off with it, right? And when that becomes off with it, you want to set it to equal. I want to set it to equal in 2 states that I want it to actually to have equal. I hate this when he does this. Inside of it, I want to use to open links, and set open links. Okay, so both of these, that I'm going to open up a link, I'm going to set an open link, and I'm going to set it to as a constant. Like I said, these are things that I'm setting as the U state, both of these open links, and set open links to a constant with it. All right. The second one I want to set as a constant. I'm going to say constant. Now let's do this. I'm going to say the equal sign of a particular function, right? And I'm going to point it to, meaning an equal sign with a greater than sign, curly brackets with it. All this inside of this particular constant that I am assigning to, and that constant says toggle bar, nav bar. All right, and inside of this, I want to have it set open links. This one, and this is the not explanations and not open links. So the way how I want you to read this is that if open links, this open links here is if it's true with an explanation, becomes false. If the open link is false with this explanation, it becomes true. So that becomes what's called the toggle bar. This is important because when you click on the actual icon, that pizza on there with it, I want you to actually flip that bar to a different status. That's just all I'm doing with it as well. So at the end of this right here, this needs a semicolon. Okay, and this is what. Let me put this all in one line so you can see this better with it. It's supposed to look like this with it. Okay. Put this on here as well. Okay, so can you all see that in one line with it? So the constant toggle, all of this, all right, all of this is assigned to equal toggle bar. And this is a particular function that we're going to actually point to is the set open links. When this is actually toggled to false, it actually sets it into, if this is a false or true, sets the open link, which is one of these constants that you have in here as well. Right? And that's the toggle bar that we're going to actually look at in here as well. Okay? So in here, this function at this time right now that I have after here, I'm missing a semicolon. Okay? So let's take a second, absorb this in, make sure you have the right syntax for this thing. The left curly bracket for the nav bar, and the right curly bracket is here. Okay, that's where it's at right now with it. All of that's contained inside of your nav bar function with it. Now, place your cursor on end of line 9, hit enter, move that down a little bit, and inside of this function, we need to return something. Okay? So we need to return something. This is very important. So inside of this particular function, I would like it for you to type the word return. And what is it that you're going to return? Open up the content of that. Okay. So you're going to have that bar on the top in the nav bar. I'm going to divide it into two halves. If you remember, I'm going to give it a navigation on the right side and a navigation on the left side. Okay. So this is if you can bear with me and kind of imagine what this thing looks like with it. So let me tighten this up on here when you see this. Tab in, we're going to use a div. Remember class name? Remember what that class name is? It's called Nav Bar. Okay. And inside that nav bar, I want to nest in another div, class name. I want to call this one left side. I want to give an ID equal left curly brackets open links. Okay. Now question mark. I'm going to talk about the syntax in a second here. Open close. Okay. I'm going to give you a second to absorb this, and I'm going to explain what this means in a second. Give me a second. Give you a second to type that. Make sure you don't have any squiggly line like I have. This is supposed to be a colon, not a semicolon. Pause the video for a second and let's get everything in. I'm looking at this thing at div class name. The div has a little squiggly line here. Class name nav bar. Let's just have a little squiggly line here. Oh, it wants this after it. Yeah. Why does it want that? Why does it like this little squiggly line here? It kind of bugs me. Hold on. Okay, so the way how you read this statement is, look at this part right here. This is what's called a ternary operator with it. So open links, this open link is this constant right here. Okay? So you're going to evaluate, is open link, is it open? If it's open, then I want you to flip it to close. Alright? So I want you to think of the left side of the menu navigation with it when you do responsive with it. Do you want it to, is it displaying the right side? If the right side of the menu is displayed, then I want you to hide the left side. If the right side is not displaying, I want you to open up the right side. That's all this is saying with it. Okay. So this is the left side of it. Now, in the left side of this, you're going to actually go in again. This is the closing of this div tag with it. I think this is why it has a little squiggly mark in there, because it needs a closing of your div tag with it. Okay, and you notice the moment I did that, this one goes away with it, right? So between that div tag that I nested in there with it, I want to come up here and come inside of this div tag that I just put in with it underneath this one right here. With it, we need to insert in an image with it. So we do image, img, image, source equal, and we put a curly bracket. Guess what the name of the source. Remember this right here? This pizza logo.png. This is going to assign it to logo here. This logo will go here in the source with it. So that's how you bring in an image in JavaScript XML. So logo, the same spelling, comes into it right there. That's all you have to do with it. And of course, you have to give it an alt text with it. So give it an alt text equal equal an apostrophe. Let's call this thing I don't know, pizza logo, something like this. All right. So something on the top that tells you this is a pizza logo, and of course you put a space, a forward slash, and you close that with a right angle. So this is that little piece of logo in the left-hand corner. That's what you're going to actually do this as well. Now, inside of this is the div with it, the left-hand side with it. And what I need to do, I made a mistake. My apology with it. This needs to be inside of your left side with it. So highlight line 12, and it should look like this. My apology. Or else this is going to be sitting outside of your div, and this is what I need for you to do. That's what it needs to look like right now. Okay, so let me bump this in. I hate that. Yeah, I just want to make sure that the proper indentation. Not that it matters. It just helps you to read a little easier with it as well. So make sure it looks like this. I put it outside. It's supposed to be inside of your part of your navigation side for it as well. Inside of this, we need to actually put some links in here. So links to the forward slash, and this is going to be hang on, links left side, image side. No, we need a div tag. My apology with it. There's 3 div tags in here with it. So we need another div tag. Actually, that's what we need to do. So here's the first div tag, second div tag, third div tag that's nested inside of this thing. This time we're going to use the class name is hidden links. Okay, hidden links with it. Inside of that, we're going to actually use links. And the link to is in quotes forward slash come to, and I want to tell you what this means in a second. Home, and we're going to actually do 4 of these links with it, right? 2. These are pages that you haven't created yet, so bear with me for the moment. Telling it to go to the links with it, so that's the page to it, and this is going to say menu. Links to about. I'm going to do one of these, and then I'm going to copy this. Okay, so let me tighten this up a little bit. So what is this link? This is basically, it's href, it's anchor link basically with it. You're going to go to your home page, right? This home page is, if you recall, remember where this is coming from. This is going from the root coming down to your home. You're going to have pages. You see this pages right here? This is going to get, there will be like home, menu, about. This menu is this menu right here. This menu that you're seeing right here is this menu.js. So you're going to have an about.js in here in the page folder, subdirectory, contact with a T. You're going to put a contact .8js in here. All of these are different components that you're putting in here right now. You're going to have a home page in here as well, but we don't have that yet. These are placeholder I want you to do with it as well. So make sure you have what I have right here, and I want you to highlight it. All right, highlight the two inner link that you have. Now this is called the left side. I want you to highlight line 12 to line 20 for me. The two inside nested div for me. Okay, highlight that for me. Control C. Place your cursor at the end of your second div with it. Control and give it no space. And I purposely gave that, so make sure you see the navigation bar, and I want you to change this. Instead of the second time round, instead of the class name, instead of saying it's left side, call that right side. Alright, so right side. That's all you have to do. And it's still the same. You're still going to have the same with it. You're going to take out the logo this time. You're not going to have the logo. That logo only happens once with it. Right? So take that out. And hidden links, you're going to have a div. You have the next one, right side with this. So here, the second one, this the right side. Just take out the attributes of this because we're not going to have it close with it. It looks like this, okay? And take out the attributes for that. I just want that to be taken out with it because the right side, we're not hiding this anymore with. Once it becomes responsive with this thing. You're still going to have your div. Let's take out, we need to take this line out. And take out this one for that div line with it. So it looks like this. Now, we're going to build in some stuff. So it still has the home, still has the menu, still has the about, still has the contacts, and one more. We need to actually add in a button right here. So in the button with it, on click, state, this is a state with it, equal the toggle nav bar. Toggle nav bar. You see this one right here? This toggle nav bar goes there with it. Close that tag off. This is the button in this thing. I'm going to talk to you in a second. Between that, we're going to actually put in the reorder. This is where it becomes the hamburger thing with it. So this is where it becomes responsive reorder icon, and you're going to pass across that function when you're going to call it with it. All right. So this is the one that actually collapses and puts it into the 2P meet or double meet or whatever you want to call it. This is the toggle nav bar with it as well, and I don't like that because it has supposed to be an equal sign. I gave it. There you go. All right, so let me click off of it. So it should look like this for me. Save your file or pause the screen. I want you to pause this. It's getting 18 minutes. It's getting too long with it, but this is what it should look like right now. I'm going to pause a second. Then you come up here. I'm looking through and I found some syntax errors. If you notice here, I have two of these right brackets. I need to take one of them off, so it doesn't have a squiggly line, but there should be, look through it, there should not be any squiggly lines and all that stuff with it. Pause the screen, compare line by line. Okay, so I want to make sure you look at this, and I'm going to give you 5 seconds before I shut off the end of the video. So pause the screen if you need to, and this is what I would like for you to have your nav bar .js. Control S for me, please. Saves it. Alright, I'm going to end the video right here.